Chapter 2 of the Song Celestial or Bhagavad Gîtâ, translated by Sir Edwin Arnold. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Jyoti Taravanat. Sanjaya said, Him filled with such compassion and such grief, with eyes tear-dimmed, despondent, in stern words the driver, Madhusudan, thus addressed. Krishna said, How hath this weakness taken thee? Whence springs the inglorious trouble? Shameful to the brave, barring the path of virtue? Nay, Arjun, forbid thyself to feebleness. It mars thy warrior name. Cast off the coward fit. Wake, be thyself. Arise, scourge of thy foes. Arjuna said, How can I, in the battle, shoot with shafts on Bhishma or on Drona, O thou chief, both worshipful, both honourable men? Better to live on beggars' bread with those we love alive, than taste their blood in rich feast spread, and guiltily survive. Ah, where it was, who knows, to be victor or vanquished here, when those confront us angrily, whose death leaves living drear. In pity lost, by doubtings tossed, my thoughts distracted turn to thee, the guide I reverence most, that I may counsel learn. I know not what would heal the grief burnt into soul and sense, if I were earth's unchallenged chief, a god, and these gone thence. Sanjaya said, So spake Arjuna to the Lord of Hearts, and sighing, I will not fight, held silence then, to whom, with tender smile, O Bharata, while the prince wept despairing twixt those hosts, Krishna made answer in divinest verse. Krishna said, Thou grievest where no grief should be. Thou speakest words lacking wisdom. For the wise in heart mourn not for those that live, nor those that die. Nor I, nor thou, nor any one of these ever was not, nor ever will not be. For ever and for ever afterwards, all that doth live, lives always. To man's frame as there comes infancy and youth and age, so come there raisings up and layings down of other and of other life abodes, which the wise know and fear not. This that irks thy sense life, thrilling to the elements, bringing thee heat and cold, sorrows and joys, it's brief and mutable. Bear with it, Prince, as the wise bear. The soul which is not moved, the soul that with a strong and constant calm takes sorrow and takes joy indifferently, lives in the life undying. That which is can never cease to be. That which is not will not exist. To see this truth of both is theirs who part essence from accident, substance from shadow. Indestructible, learn thou, the life is, spreading life through all. It cannot anywhere, by any means, be anywise diminished, stayed, or changed. But for these fleeting frames, which it informs with spirit deathless, endless, infinite, they perish. Let them perish, Prince, and fight. He who shall say, Lo, I have slain a man. He who shall think, Lo, I am slain. Those both know not. Life cannot slay. Life is not slain. Never the spirit was born. The spirit shall cease to be never. Never was time, it was not. End and beginning are dreams. Birthless and deathless and changeless remaineth the spirit for ever. Death hath not touched it at all, dead though the house of it seems. Who knoweth it exhaustless, self-sustained, immortal, indestructible, shall such say, I have killed a man, or caused to kill? Nay, but as when one layeth his worn-out robes away, and taking new ones saith, These will I wear to-day, so putteth by the Spirit lightly its garb of flesh, and passeth to inherit a residence afresh. I say to thee, weapons reach not the life, flame burns it not, waters cannot overwhelm, nor dry winds wither it, impenetrable, unentered, unassailed, unharmed, untouched, immortal, all arriving, stable, sure, invisible, ineffable, by word and thought, uncompassed, ever all itself. Thus is the soul declared. How wilt thou, then, knowing it so, grieve when thou shouldest not grieve? How if thou hearest that the man new dead is like the man new born, still living man, one same existent spirit? Wilt thou weep? The end of birth is death, the end of death is birth. This is ordained. And mournest thou, chief of the stalwart arm, for what befalls which could not otherwise befall? The birth of living things comes unperceived, the death comes unperceived. Between them beings perceive. What is there sorrowful herein, dear Prince? Wonderful, wistful to contemplate, difficult, doubtful to speak upon, strange and great for tongue to relate, mystical hearing for every one. Nor wotteth man this, what a marvel it is, when seeing and saying and hearing are done. This life within all living things, my Prince, hides beyond harm. Scorn thou to suffer, then, for that which cannot suffer. Do thy part, be mindful of thy name, and tremble not. Naught better can betide a martial soul than lawful war. Happy the warrior to whom comes joy of battle, comes as now, glorious and fair, unsought, opening for him a gateway unto heaven. But if thou shunnest this honourable field, as Kshatriya, if, knowing thy duty and thy task, thou biddest duty and task go by, then shall be sin, and those to come shall speak thee infamy from age to age. But infamy is worse for men of noble blood to bear than death. The chiefs upon their battle chariots will deem 'twas fear that drove thee from the fray. Of those who held thee mighty-souled, the scorn thou must abide, while all thine enemies will scatter bitter speech of thee to mock the valour which thou hadst. What fate could fall more grievously than this? Either, being killed, thou wilt win Swarga's safety, or, alive and victor, thou wilt reign an earthly king. Therefore, arise, thou son of Kunti, brace thine arm for conflict, nerve thy heart to meet, as things alike to thee, pleasure or pain, profit or ruin, victory or defeat. So minded, gird thee to the fight, for so thou shalt not sin. Thus far I speak to thee as from the Sankhya unspiritually. Hear now the deeper teaching of the Yog, which holding, understanding, thou shalt burst thy karma bala, the bondage of wrought deeds. Here shall no end be hindered, no hope marred, no loss be feared. Faith, yea, a little faith, shall save thee from the anguish of thy dread. Here, glory of the Kurus, shines one rule, one steadfast rule, while shifting souls have laws many and hard, specious but wrongful deem the speech of those ill-taught ones who extolled the letter of the Vedas, saying, "This is all we have or need," being weak at heart with wants, seekers of heaven, which comes, they say, as fruits of good deeds done, promising men much profit in new births for works of faith, in various rites abounding, following whereon large merit shall accrue toward wealth and power. Albeit, who wealth and power do most desire, least fixity of soul have, such least hold on heavenly meditation. Much these teach from Vedas concerning the three qualities. But thou be free of the three qualities, free of the pairs of opposites, and free from that sad righteousness which calculates self-ruled. Arjuna, simple, satisfied. Look, like as when a tank pours water forth to suit all needs, so do these Brahmins draw texts from all wants from tank of holy writ. But thou want not, ask not, find full reward of doing right in right. Let right deeds be thy motive, not the fruit which comes from them, and live in action, labour, make thine acts thy piety, casting all self aside, contemning gain and merit, equable in good or evil. Equability is yoga, is piety. Yet the right act is less, far less, than the right thinking mind. Seek refuge in thy soul, have there thy heaven. Scorn them that follow virtue for her gifts. The mind of pure devotion, even here, casts equally aside good deeds and bad, passing above them. Unto pure devotion devote thyself, with perfect meditation comes perfect act, and the right-hearted rise more certainly, because they seek no gain, forth from the bands of body step by step to highest seats of bliss. When thy firm soul hath shaken off those tangled oracles which ignorantly guide, then shall it soar to high neglect of what's denied or said, this way or that way, in doctrinal writ. Troubled no longer by the priestly lore, safe shall it live and sure, steadfastly bent on meditation. This is yoga and peace. Arjuna said, "What is his mark who hath that steadfast heart, confirmed in holy meditation? How know we his speech, Keshava? Sits he, moves he like other men?" Krishna said, "When one, O Partha's son, abandoning desires which shake the mind, finds in his soul full comfort for his soul, he hath attained the yoga. That man is such, in sorrows not dejected, and in joys not overjoyed, dwelling outside the stress of passion, fear, and anger, fixed in calms of lofty contemplation. Such a one is Muni, is the sage, the true recluse. He who to none and nowhere overbound by ties of flesh, takes evil things and good neither desponding nor exulting, such bears wisdom's plainest mark. He who shall draw as a wise tortoise draws its 4 feet safe under its shield, his 5 frail senses back under the spirit's buckler from the world which else assails them. Such a one, my prince, hath wisdom's mark. Things that solicit sense hold off from the self-governed. Nay, it comes the appetites of him who lives beyond depart, aroused no more. Yet may it chance, O son of Kunti, that a governed mind shall sometime feel the sense storms sweep, and wrest strong self-control by the roots. Let him regain his kingdom, let him conquer this, and sit on me intent. That man alone is wise who keeps the mastery of himself. If one ponders on objects of the sense, there springs attraction. From attraction grows desire. Desire flames to fierce passion. Passion breeds recklessness. Then the memory all betrayed lets noble purpose go, and saps the mind, till purpose, mind, and man are all undone. But if one deals with objects of the sense, not loving and not hating, making them serve his free soul, which rests serenely Lord, lo, such a man comes to tranquillity, and out of that tranquillity shall rise the end and healing of his earthly pains, since the will governed sets the soul at peace. The soul of the ungoverned is not his, nor hath he knowledge of himself, which lacked, how grows serenity? And wanting that, whence shall he hope for happiness? The mind that gives itself to follow shows of sense seeth its helm of wisdom rent away, and like a ship in waves of whirlwind drives to wreck and death. Only with him, great Prince, whose senses are not swayed by things of sense, only with him who holds his mastery, shows wisdom perfect. What is midnight gloom to unenlightened souls shines wakeful day to his clear gaze. What seems as wakeful day is known for night, thick night of ignorance, to his true seeing eyes. Such is the saint. And like the ocean, day by day receiving floods from all lands, which never overflows, its boundary line not leaping and not leaving, fed by the rivers, but unswelled by those, so is the Perfect One. To his soul's ocean the world of sense pours streams of witchery. They leave him as they find, without commotion, taking their tribute, but remaining sea. Yea, whoso shaking off the yoke of flesh lives lord, not servant of his lusts, set free from pride, from passion, from the sin of self, toucheth tranquillity. O Partha's son, that is the state of Brahm. There rests no dread when the last step is reached. Live where he will, die when he may, such passeth from all plaining to blessed Nirvana, with the gods attaining. Here endeth Chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gîtâ, entitled Sankhya Yoga, or the Book of Doctrines. End of Chapter 2. Recording by Jyoti Taravanat. Chapter 3 of the Song Celestial, or Bhagavad Gîtâ, translated by Sir Edwin Arnold. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Jyoti Taravanat. Arjuna said, Thou whom all mortals praise, Janardana, if meditation be a nobler thing than action, wherefore then, great Keshava, dost thou impel me to this dreadful fight? Now am I by thy doubtful speech disturbed? Tell me one thing, and tell me certainly, by what road shall I find the better end? Krishna said, I told thee, blameless Lord, there be two paths shown to this world, two schools of wisdom. First, the Sankhyas, which doth save in way of works prescribed by reason. Next, the Yoga, which bids attain by meditation, spiritually. Yet these are one. No man shall escape from act by shunning action. Nay, and none shall come by mere announcements unto perfectness. Nay, and no jot of time, at any time, rests any actionless. His nature's law compels him, even unwilling, into act. For thought is act in fancy. He who sits oppressing all the instruments of flesh, yet in his idle art thinking on them, plays the inept and guilty hypocrite. But he who, with strong body serving mind, gives up his mortal powers to worthy work, not seeking gain, Arjuna, such a one is honourable. Do thine allotted task. Work is more excellent than idleness. The body's life proceeds not, lacking work. There is a task of holiness to do, unlike world-binding toil, which bindeth not the faithful soul. Such earthly duty do free from desire, and thou shalt well perform thy heavenly purpose. Spake Prajapati, in the beginning when all men were made, and with mankind the sacrifice, do this, work, sacrifice, increase and multiply with sacrifice. This shall be Kamaduk, your cow of plenty, giving back her milk of all abundance. Worship the gods thereby. The gods shall yield thee grace. Those meats ye crave, the gods will grant to labour when it pays tithes in the altar flame. But if one eats fruits of the earth, rendering to kindly heaven no gift of toil, that thief steals from his world. Who eat of food after their sacrifice are quit of fault. But they that spread a feast all for themselves eat sin and drink of sin. By food the living live, food comes of rain, and rain comes by the pious sacrifice, and sacrifice is paid with tithes of toil. Thus action is of Brahma, who is one, the only, all-pervading, at all times present in sacrifice. He that abstains to help the rolling wheels of this great world, glutting his idle sense, lives a lost life, shameful and vain, existing for himself, self-concentrated, serving self alone. No part hath he in aught, nothing achieved, naught wrought or unwrought toucheth him, no hope of help, for all the living things of earth depends from him. Therefore, thy task prescribed, with spirit unattached gladly perform. Since in performance of plain duty man mounts to his highest bliss. By works alone Janak and ancient saints reached blessedness. Moreover, for the upholding of thy kind action thou shouldest embrace. What the wise chose the unwise people take. What best men do the multitude will follow. Look on me, thou son of Pritha. In the three wide worlds I am not bound to any toil. No height awaits to scale, no gift remains to gain. Yet I act here. And if I acted not earnest and watchful, those that look to me for guidance, sinking back to sloth again because I slumbered, would decline from good, and I should break earth's order and commit her offspring unto ruin. Bharata, even as the unknowing toil, wedded to sense, so let the enlightened toil, sense-freed, but set to bring the world deliverance and its bliss, not sowing in those simple, busy heart seed of despair. Yea, let each play his part in all he finds to do. With unyoked soul all things are everywhere by nature wrought in interaction of the qualities. The fool cheated by self thinks, this I did, and that I wrought. But thou strong-armed prince, a better lessoned mind, knowing the play of visible things within the world of sense, and how the qualities must qualify, standeth aloof even from his acts. The untaught live mixed with them, knowing not nature's way, of highest aims unwitting, slow and dull. Those make thou not to stumble, having the light, but all thy dues discharging, for my sake, with meditation centred inwardly, seeking no profit, satisfied, serene, heedless of issue, fight. They who shall keep my ordinance thus, the wise and willing hearts, have quittance from all issue of their acts. But those who disregard my ordinance, thinking they know not, and fall to loss, confused and foolish, soothe the instructed one doth of his kind, following what fits him most, and lower creatures of their kind, in vain contending against the law. Needs must it be the objects of the sense will stir the sense to like and dislike. Yet the enlightened man yields not to these, knowing them enemies. Finally, this is better, that one do his own task as he may, even though he fail, than take tasks not his own, though they seem good. To die performing duty is no ill, but who seeks other roads shall wander still. Arjuna said, Yet tell me, teacher, by what force doth man go to his ill, unwilling, as if one pushed him that evil path? Krishna said, Karma it is, passion it is, born of the darknesses, which pusheth him, mighty of appetite, sinful and strong is this, man's enemy. As smoke blots the white fire, as clinging rust mars the bright mirror, as the womb surrounds the babe unborn, so is the world of things, foiled, soiled, enclosed in this desire of flesh. The wise fall, caught in it. The unresting foe it is of wisdom, wearing countless forms, fair but deceitful, subtle as a flame. Sense, mind, and reason, these, O Kunti's son, are booty for it. In its play with these it maddens man, beguiling, blinding him. Therefore, thou noblest child of Bharata, govern thy heart, constrain the entangled sense, resist the false, soft sinfulness which saps knowledge and judgment. Yea, the world is strong, but what discerns it stronger, and the mind strongest, and high over all the ruling soul? Wherefore, perceiving Him who reigns supreme, put forth full force of soul in thy own soul. Fight, vanquish foes and doubts, dear hero. Slay what haunts thee in fond shapes, and would betray. Here endeth Chapter 3 of the Bhagavad Gîtâ, entitled Karma Yoga, or the Book of Virtue in Work. End of Chapter 3. Recording by Jyoti Taravanat. Chapter 4 of the Song Celestial, or Bhagavad Gîtâ, translated by Sir Edwin Arnold. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Krishna said, This deathless yoga, this deep union, I taught Vivasvatha, the Lord of Light. Vivasvatha to Manu gave it, he to Ikshavaku, so passed it down the line of all my royal rishis. Then, with years, the truth grew dim and perished. Noble Prince, now once again to thee it is declared, this ancient lore, this mystery supreme, seeing I find thee votary and friend. Arjuna said, Thy birth, dear Lord, was in these later days, and bright Vivasvatha's preceded time. How shall I comprehend this thing thou sayest, from the beginning it was I who taught? Krishna said, Manifold the renewals of my birth have been, Arjuna, and of thy births too. But mine I know, and thine thou knowest not. O slayer of thy foes, albeit I be unborn, undying, indestructible, the Lord of all things living, not the less, by Maya, by my magic which I stamp on floating nature forms, the primal vast, I come and go and come. When righteousness declines, O Bharata, when wickedness is strong, I rise from age to age and take visible shape, and move a man with men, succouring the good, thrusting the evil back, and setting virtue on her seat again. Who knows the truth touching my births on earth and my divine work? When He quits the flesh, puts on its load no more, falls no more down to earthly birth, to me He comes, dear Prince. Many there be who come, from fear set free, from anger, from desire, keeping their hearts fixed upon me, my faithful, purified by sacred flame of knowledge. Such as these mix with my being. Whoso worship me, them I exalt. But all men everywhere shall fall into my path, albeit those souls which seek reward for works make sacrifice now to the lower gods. I say to thee, here have they their reward. But I am He made the four castes, and portioned them a place after their qualities and gifts. Yea, I created the reposeful, I that live immortally, made all those mortal births. For works soil not my essence, being works wrought uninvolved. Who knows me acting thus unchained by action? Action binds not him. And so perceiving, all those saints of old worked, seeking for deliverance. Work thou as, in the days gone by, thy fathers did. Thou sayest, perplexed, it hath been asked before by singers and by sages, what is act and what inaction? I will teach thee this. And, knowing, thou shalt learn which work doth save, needs must one rightly meditate those three: doing, not doing, and undoing. Here thorny and dark the path is. He who sees how action may be rest action, he is wisest amid his kind. He hath the truth. He doeth well, acting or resting, freed in all his works from prickings of desire, burned clean in act by the white fire of truth. The wise call that man wise, and such a one, renouncing fruit of deeds, always content, always self-satisfying. If he works, doth nothing that shall stain his separate soul, which, quit of fear and hope, subduing self, rejecting outward impulse, yielding up to body's need nothing save body, dwells sinless amid all sin, with equal calm, taking what may befall by grief unmoved by joy, unenvyingly the same in good and evil fortunes, nowise bound by bond of deeds, nay, but of such a one, whose crave is gone, whose soul is liberate, whose heart is set on truth. Of such a one, what work he does is work of sacrifice, which passeth purely into ash and smoke consumed upon the altar. All's then God. The sacrifice is Brahm, the ghee and grain are Brahm, the fire is Brahm, the flesh it eats is Brahm, and unto Brahm attains he who in such office meditates on Brahm. Some votaries there be who serve the gods with flesh and altar smoke, but others some who, lighting subtler fires, make purer rite with will of worship. Of the which be they who, in white flame of continence, consume joys of the sense, delights of eye and ear, forgoing tender speech and sound of song, and they who, kindling fires with torch of truth, burn on a hidden altar stone the bliss of youth and love, renouncing happiness, and they who lay for offering there their wealth, their penance, meditation, piety, their steadfast reading of the scrolls, their low painfully gained with long austerities, and they who, making silent sacrifice, draw in their breath to feed the flame of thought, and breathe it forth to waft the heart on high, governing the vantage of each entering air, lest one sigh pass which helpeth not the soul, and they who, day by day denying needs, lay life itself upon the altar flame, burning the body worn, Lo, all these keep the rite of offering, as if they slew victims, and all thereby efface such sin. Yea, and who feed on the immortal food left of such sacrifice, to Brahma pass, to the unending. But for him that makes no sacrifice, he hath nor part nor lot even in the present world. How should he share another, O thou glory of thy line? In sight of Brahma, all these offerings are spread and are accepted. Comprehend that all proceed by act. For knowing this, thou shalt be quit of doubt. The sacrifice which knowledge pays is better than gifts offered by wealth. Since gifts' worth, O my prince, lies in the mind which gives, the will that serves, and these are gained by reverence, by strong search, by humble heed of those who see the truth and teach it. Knowing truth, thy heart no more will ache with error, for the truth shall show all things subdued to thee, as thou to me. Moreover, son of Pandu, wert thou worst of all wrongdoers, this fair ship of truth should bear thee safe and dry across the sea of thy transgressions. As the kindled flame feeds on the fuel till it sinks to ash, so unto ash, Arjuna, unto naught the flame of knowledge wastes works draws away. There is no purifier like thereto in all this world, and he who seeketh it shall find it, being grown perfect in himself. Believing, he receives it when the soul masters itself, and cleaves to truth, and comes, possessing knowledge, to the higher peace, the uttermost repose. But those untaught, and those without full faith, and those who fear are shent, no peace is here or otherwhere, no hope, no happiness for whoso doubts. He that, being self-contained, hath vanquished doubt, disparting self from service, soul from works, enlightened and emancipate, my prince, works fetter him no more. Cut then atwain with sword of wisdom, son of Bharata, this doubt that binds thy heartbeats. Cleave the bond born of thy ignorance. Be bold and wise. Give thyself to the field with me. Arise. Here endeth Chapter 4 of the Bhagavad Gîtâ, entitled Jnana Yoga, or the Book of Religion of Knowledge. End of Chapter 4. Recording by Jyoti Taravanat. Chapter 5 of the Song Celestial, or Bhagavad Gîtâ, translated by Sir Edwin Arnold. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Jyoti Taravanat. Arjuna said, Yet, Krishna, at the one time thou dost laud surcease of works, and at another time service through work. Of these twain, plainly tell which is the better way. Krishna said, To cease from works is well, and to do works in holiness is well, and both conduct to bliss supreme. But of these twain the better way is his who working piously refraineth not. That is the true renouncer, firm and fixed, who, seeking not, rejecting not, dwells proof against the opposites. O valiant prince, in doing, such breaks lightly from all deed. It's the new scholar talks as they were two, this Sankhya and this Yoga. Wise men know who husbands one plucks golden fruit of both. The region of high rest which Sankhyas reach, Yogins attain. Who sees these twain as one, sees with clear eyes. Yet Such abstraction, Chief, is hard to win without much holiness. Whoso is fixed in holiness, self-ruled, pure-hearted, lord of senses and of self, lost in the common life of all which lives, a yoga yukt, he is a saint who wends straightway to Brahm. Such a one is not touched by taint of deeds. Not of myself I do. Thus will he think who holds the truth of truths, in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, when he eats, or goes, or breathes, slumbers or talks, holds fast or loosens, opens his eyes or shuts, always assured, this is the sense world plays with senses. He that acts in thought of Brahm, detaching end from act, with act content, the world of sense can no more stain his soul than waters marreth enamelled lotus leaf. With life, with heart, with mind, nay, with the help of all five senses, letting selfhood go, yogins toil ever towards their soul's release. Such votaries, renouncing fruit of deeds, gain endless peace. The unvowed, the passion-bound, seeking a fruit from works, are fastened down. The embodied sage, withdrawn within his soul, at every act sits godlike in the town which hath 9 gateways, neither doing aught nor causing any deed. This world's Lord makes neither the work, nor passion for work, nor lust for fruit of work. The man's own self pushes to these. The master of this world takes on himself the good or evil deeds of no man dwelling beyond. Mankind errs here by folly, darkening knowledge. But for whom that darkness of the soul is chased by a light, splendid and clear shines manifest the truth, as if a sun of wisdom sprang to shed its beams of dawn. Him meditating still, him seeking, with him blended, stayed on him, the souls illuminated take that road which hath no turning back, their sins flung off by strength of faith. Who will may have this light who hath it sees. To him who wisely sees, the Brahman with his scrolls and sanctities, the cow, the elephant, the unclean dog, the outcast gorging dog's meat, are all one. The world is overcome, even here, by such as fix their faith on unity. The sinless Brahma dwells in unity, and they in Brahma. Be not overglad attaining joy, and be not oversad encountering grief, but stayed on Brahma, still constant, let each abide. The sage, whose soul holds off from outer contacts, in himself finds bliss. To Brahma joined by piety, his spirit tastes eternal peace. The joys springing from sense life are but quickening wombs, which breed sure griefs. Those joys begin and end. The wise mind takes no pleasure, Kunti's son, in such as those. But if a man shall learn, even while he lives and bears his body's chain, to master lust and anger, he is blessed. He is the Yukta. He hath happiness, contentment, light within. His life is merged in Brahma's life. He doth Nirvana touch. Thus go the rishis unto rest, who dwell with sins effaced, with doubts at end, with hearts governed and calm. Glad in all good they live, nigh to the peace of God. And all those live who pass their days exempt from greed and wrath, subduing self and senses, knowing the soul. The saint who shuts outside his placid soul all touch of sense, letting no contact through, whose quiet eyes gaze straight from fixed brows, whose outward breath and inward breath are drawn equal and slow through the nostrils still and close, that one with organs, heart and mind constrained, bent on deliverance, having put away passion and fear and rage, hath even now obtained deliverance, ever and ever freed. Yea, for he knows me who am he that heeds the sacrifice and worship, God revealed, and he who heeds not, being Lord of worlds, lover of all that lives, God unrevealed, wherein who will shall find surety and shield. Here ends Chapter 5 of the Bhagavad Gita, entitled Karma Sannyasa Yoga, or the Book of Religion by Renouncing Fruit of Works. End of Chapter 5. Recording by Jyoti Tharavanat. Chapter 6 of the Song Celestial, or Bhagavad Gita, translated by Sir Edwin Arnold. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Jyoti Tharavanat. Chapter 6. Krishna said, Therefore, who doeth work rightful to do, not seeking gain from work, that man, O Prince, is sannyasi and yogi both in one. And he is neither who lights not the flame of sacrifice, nor setteth hand to task. Regard as true renouncer him that makes worship by work. For who renounceth not, works not as yogin. So is that well said. By works the votary doth rise to faith, and saintship is the ceasing from all works, because the perfect yogin acts, but acts unmoved by passions and unbound by deeds, setting result aside. Let each man raise the self by soul, not trample down his self. Since soul that is self's friend may grow self's foe. Soul is self's friend when self doth rule over self. But self turns enemy if soul's own self hates self as not itself. The sovereign soul of him who lives self-governed and at peace is centered in itself, taking alike pleasure and pain, heat, cold, glory and shame. He is the yogi. He is yukta, glad with joy of light and truth, dwelling apart upon a peak, with senses subjugate whereto the clod, the rock, the glistening gold show all as one. By this sign he is known, being of equal grace to comrades, friends, chance comers, strangers, lovers, enemies, aliens and kinsmen, loving all alike, evil or good. Sequestered should he sit, steadfastly meditating, solitary, his thoughts controlled, his passions laid away, quit of belongings, in a fair, still spot having his fixed abode, not too much raised, nor yet too low. Let him abide, his goods a cloth, a deerskin, and the kusa grass. There, setting hoard his mind upon the One, restraining heart and senses, silent, calm, let him accomplish yoga, and achieve pureness of soul, holding immovable body and neck and head, his gaze absorbed upon his nose end, rapt from all around, tranquil in spirit, free of fear, intent upon his brahmacharya vow, devout musing on me, lost in the thought of me. That yogin, so devoted, so controlled, comes to the peace beyond, my peace, the peace of high nirvana. But for earthly needs, religion is not his who too much fasts or too much feasts, nor his who sleeps away an idle mind, nor his who wears to waste his strength in vigils. Nay, Arjuna, call that the true piety which most removes earth aches and ills, where one is moderate in eating and in resting, and in sport, measured in wish and act, sleeping betimes, waking betimes for duty. When the man, so living, centers on his soul the thought straightly restrained, untouched internally by stress of sense, then is he Yukta. See, steadfast a lamp burns sheltered from the wind. Such is the likeness of the yogi's mind, shut from sense storms and burning bright to heaven. When mind broods placid, soothed with holy wont, when self contemplates self, and in itself hath comfort, when it knows the nameless joy beyond all scope of sense, revealed to soul only to soul, and knowing wavers not, true to the farther truth, when holding this, it deems no other treasure comparable, but, harboured there, cannot be stirred or shook by any gravest grief. Call that state peace, that happy severance yoga. Call that man the perfect yogin. Steadfastly the will must toil thereto, till efforts end in ease, and thought has passed from thinking, shaking off all longings bred by dreams of fame and gain, shutting the doorways of the senses close with watchful ward. So, step by step, it comes to gift of peace assured and heart assuaged. When the mind dwells self-wrapped, and the soul broods cumberless, but as often as the heart breaks, wild and wavering, from control, so oft let him recurb it. Let him rein it back to the soul's governance. For perfect bliss grows only in the bosom tranquilized, the spirit passionless, purged from offence, vowed to the infinite. He who thus vows his soul to the Supreme Soul, quitting sin, passes unhindered to the endless bliss of unity with Brahma. He so vowed, so blended, sees the life soul resident in all things living, and all living things in that life soul contained. And whoso thus discerneth me in all, and all in me, I never let him go, nor loseth he hold upon me. But dwell he where he may, whatever his life, in me he dwells and lives, because he knows and worships me, who dwell in all which lives, and cleaves to me in all. Arjuna, if a man sees everywhere, taught by his own similitude, one life, one essence in the evil and the good, hold him a yogi, yea, well perfected. Arjuna said, Slayer of Madhu, yet again, this yoga, this peace, derived from equanimity, made known by thee, I see no fixity therein, no rest, because the heart of men is unfixed. Krishna, rash, tumultuous, wilful and strong, it were all one, I think, to hold the wayward wind as tame man's heart. Krishna said, Hero long-armed, beyond denial, hard man's heart is to restrain, and wavering. Yet may it grow restrained by habit. Prince, by want of self-command, this yoga, I say, cometh not lightly to the ungoverned ones. But he who will be master of himself shall win it, if he stoutly strive thereto. Arjuna said, And what road goeth he who, having faith, fails, Krishna, in the striving, falling back from holiness, missing the perfect rule? Is he not lost, straying from Brahma's light, like the vain cloud which floats twixt earth and heaven when lightning splits it, and it vanisheth? Fain would I hear thee answer me herein, since, Krishna, none save thou can clear the doubt. Krishna said, He is not lost, thou son of Pritha. No, nor earth nor heaven is forfeit even for him, because no heart that holds one right desire treadeth the road of loss. He who should fail, desiring righteousness, cometh at death unto the region of the just. dwells there measureless years, and being born anew, beginneth life again in some fair home amid the mild and happy. It may chance he doth descend into a Yogin house on virtue's breast, but that is rare. Such birth is hard to be obtained on this earth, chief. So hath he back again what heights of heart he did achieve, and so he strives anew to perfectness, with better hope, dear Prince. For by the old desire he is drawn on unwittingly, and only to desire the purity of Yog is to pass beyond the Sabadharm, the spoken Ved. But being Yogi, striving strong and long, purged from transgressions, perfected by births following on births, he plants his feet at last upon the farther path. Such as one ranks above ascetics, higher than the wise, beyond achievers of vast deeds. Be thou Yogi, Arjuna, and of such believe. Truest and best is he who worships me with inmost soul, stayed on my mystery. Here endeth Chapter 6 of the Bhagavad Gîtâ, entitled Atma Sanyama Yoga, or the Book of Religion by Self-Restraint. End of Chapter 6. Recording by Jyoti Taravanat. Chapter 7 of the Song Celestial, or Bhagavad Gîtâ, translated by Sir Edwin Arnold. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Jyoti Taravanat. Chapter 7. Krishna said, Learn now, dear Prince, how, if thy soul be set ever on me, still exercising Yog, still making me thy refuge, thou shalt come most surely unto perfect hold of me. I will declare to thee that utmost law, whole and particular, which, when thou knowest, leaveth no more to know here in this world. Of many thousand mortals, one perchance striveth for truth, and of those few that strive, nay, and rise high, one only, here and there, knoweth me, as I am, the very truth. Earth, water, flame, air, ether, life, and mind, and individuality, those eight make up the showing of me manifest. These be my lower nature, learn the higher, whereby, thou valiant one, this universe is, by its principle of life, produced, whereby the worlds of visible things are born as from a yoni. Know, I am that womb. I make and I unmake this universe. Than me there is no other master, prince, no other maker. All these hang on me as hangs a row of pearls upon its string. I am the fresh taste of the water, I the silver of the moon, the gold of the sun, the word of worship in the Vedas, the thrill that passeth in the ether, and the strength of man's shed seed. I am the good sweet smell of the moistened earth. I am the fire's red light, the vital air moving in all which moves, the holiness of hallowed souls, the root undying, whence hath sprung whatever is, the wisdom of the wise, the intellect of the informed, the greatness of the great, the splendor of the splendid. Kunti's son, these am I, free from passion and desire. Yet am I right desire in all who yearn. Chief of the Bharatas, for all those moods, soothfast or passionate or ignorant, which nature frames, deduce from me. But all are merged in me, not I in them. The world, deceived by those three qualities of being, wooteth not me who am outside them all, above them all, eternal. Hard it is to pierce that veil divine of various shows which hideth me, yet they who worship me pierce it and pass beyond. I am not known to evildoers, nor to foolish ones, nor to the base and churlish, nor to those whose mind is cheated by the show of things, nor those that take the way of the Asuras. Four sorts of mortals know me: he who weeps, Arjuna, and the man who yearns to know, and he who toils to help, and he who sits certain of me, enlightened. Of these four, O Prince of India, highest, nearest, best that last is the devout soul, wise intent upon the One. Dear above all am I to him, and he is dearest unto me. All four are good, and seek me, but mine own, the true of heart, the faithful, stayed on me, taking me as their utmost blessedness. They are not mine, but I, even I myself, at the end of many births to me they come. Yet hard the wise Mahatma is to find, that man who saith, all is Vasudev. There be those, too, whose knowledge, turned aside by this desire or that, gives them to serve some lower gods, with various rites, constrained by that which mouldeth them. Unto all such, worship what shrine they will, what shapes, in faith, it's I who give them faith. I am content. The heart, thus asking favour from its God, darkened but ardent, hath the end it craves, the lesser blessing, but it's I who give. Yet soon is withered what small fruit they reap. Those men of little minds, who worship so, go where they worship, passing with their gods. But mine come unto me. Blind are the eyes which deemeth the unmanifested manifest, not comprehending me in my true self, imperishable, viewless, undeclared, hidden behind my magic veil of shows. I am not seen by all. I am not known, unborn and changeless, to the idle world. But I, Arjuna, know all things which were, and all which are, and all which are to be, albeit not one among them knoweth me. By passion for the pairs of opposites, by those twain snares of like and dislike, Prince, all creatures live bewildered, save some few who, quit of sins, wholly inact, informed, freed from the opposites, and fixed in faith, cleave unto me. Who cleave, who seek in me refuge from birth and death, those have the truth. Those know me, Brahma, know me, Soul of Souls, the Adi Atman, know Karma, my work, know I am Adi Bhuta, Lord of Life, and Adi Daiva, Lord of all the gods, and Adi Yajna, Lord of Sacrifice. Worship me well, with hearts of love and faith, and find and hold me in the hour of death. Here endeth Chapter 7 of the Bhagavad Gîtâ, entitled Vijnana Yoga, or the Book of Religion by Discernment. End of Chapter 7. Recording by Jyoti Taravanat. Chapter 8 of the Song Celestial, or Bhagavad Gîtâ, translated by Sir Edwin Arnold. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Jyoti Taravanat. Chapter 8. Arjuna inquired, who is that Brahma? What that Soul of Souls, the Adi Atman? What, thou best of all? Thy work, the karma? Tell me what it is thou namest Adi-bhuta. What again means Adi-daiva? Yea, and how it comes thou canst be Adi-daiva in thy flesh? Slayer of Madhu, further, make me know how good men find thee in the hour of death. Krishna said, I, Brahma, am the one eternal God, and Adi-Atman is my being's name, the soul of souls. What goeth forth from me, causing all life to live, is karma called. And manifested in divided forms, I am the Adi-bhuta, Lord of lives, and Adi-daiva, Lord of all the gods, because I am Purusha who begets, and Adi-yajna, Lord of sacrifice. I, speaking with thee in this body here, am thou embodied one, for all the shrines flame unto me. And at the hour of death, he that hath meditated me alone, and putting off his flesh, comes forth to me, enters into my being, doubt thou not. But if he meditated otherwise at hour of death, in putting off the flesh, he goes to what he looked for, Kunti's son, because the soul is fashioned to its like. Have me then in thy heart always, and fight. Thou too, when heart and mind are fixed on me, shalt surely come to me. All come who cleave with never wavering will of firmest faith, owning none other gods. All come to me, the uttermost Purusha, holiest. Whoso hath known me, Lord of sage and singer, ancient of days, of all the three worlds stay boundless, but unto every atom bringer of that which quickens it, whoso, I say, hath known my form, which passeth mortal knowing, seen my effulgence, which no eye hath seen, than the sun's burning gold more brightly glowing, dispersing darkness, unto him hath been right life. And in the hour when life is ending, with mind set fast and trustful piety, drawing still breath beneath calm brows unbending, in happy peace that faithful one doth die. In glad peace passeth to Purusha's heaven, the place which they who read the Vedas name Aksharam, ultimate, whereto have striven saints and ascetics. Their road is the same. That way, the highest way, goes he who shuts the gates of all his senses, locks desire safe in his heart, centers the vital airs upon his parting thought, steadfastly set, and murmuring Om, the sacred syllable, emblem of Brahm, dies meditating me. For who, none other gods regarding, looks ever to me, easily am I gained by such a yogi, and attaining me, they fall not, those Mahatmas, back to birth, to life which is the place of pain which ends, but take the way of utmost blessedness. The worlds, Arjuna, even Brahma's world, roll back again from death to life's unrest. But they, O Kunti's son, that reach to me, taste birth no more. If you know Brahma's day, which is 1,000 yugas, if you know the 1,000 yugas making Brahma's night, then know ye day and night as he doth know. When that vast dawn doth break, the invisible is brought anew into the visible. When that deep night doth darken, all which is fades back again to him who sent it forth. Yea, this vast company of living things, again and yet again produced, expires at Brahma's nightfall, and at Brahma's dawn riseth without its will to life new born. But higher, deeper, innermost, abides another life, not like the life of sense, escaping sight, unchanging. This endures when all created things have passed away. This is that life named the unmanifest, the infinite, the all, the uttermost, thither arriving none return. That life is mine, and I am there, and Prince, by faith which wanders not, there is a way to come thither. I, the Purusha, I who spread the universe around me, in whom dwell all living things, may so be reached and seen. Richer than holy fruit on Vedas growing, greater than gifts, better than prayer or fast, such wisdom is. The yogi, this way knowing, comes to the utmost perfect peace at last. Here endeth Chapter 8 of the Bhagavad Gîtâ, entitled Akshara Parabrahm Yog, or the Book of Religion by Devotion to the One Supreme God. End of Chapter 8. Recording by Jyoti Taravanat. Chapter 9 of the Song Celestial, or Bhagavad Gîtâ, translated by Sir Edwin Arnold. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Jyoti Taravanat. Chapter 9. Krishna said, Now will I open unto thee, whose heart rejects not, that last lore, deepest concealed, that farthest secret of my heavens and earths, which but to know shall set thee free from ills, a royal lore, a kingly mystery. Yea, for the soul such light as purgeth it from every sin, a light of holiness with inmost splendour shining, plain to see, easy to walk by, inexhaustible. They that receive not this, failing in faith to grasp the greater wisdom, reach not me, destroyer of thy foes. They sink anew into the realm of flesh, where all things change. By me the whole vast universe of things is spread abroad, by me, the unmanifest. In me are all existences contained, not I in them. Yet they are not contained, those visible things. Receive and strive to embrace the mystery majestical. My being, creating all, sustaining all, still dwells outside of all. See, as the shoreless airs move in the measureless space, but are not space, and space were space without the moving airs, so all things are in me, but are not I. At the closing of each kalpa, Indian Prince, all things which be back to my being come at the beginning of each kalpa, all issue new-born from me. By energy and help of Prakriti, my outer self, again and yet again I make go forth the realms of visible things, without their will, all of them by the power of Prakriti. Yet these great makings, Prince, involve me not, enchain me not. I sit apart from them, other and higher and free, no wise attached. Thus doth the stuff of worlds moulded by me bring forth all that which is, moving or still, living or lifeless. Thus the worlds go on. The minds untaught mistake me, veiled in form, not see they of my secret presence, not of my hid nature. Ruling all which lives, vain hopes pursuing, vain deeds doing, fed on vainest knowledge, senselessly they seek an evil way. the way of brutes and fiends. But my Mahatmas, those of noble soul who tread the path of celestial, worship me with hearts unwandering, knowing me the source, the eternal source of life. Unendingly they glorify me, seek me, keep their vows of reverence and love, with changeless faith adoring me. Yea, and those too adore, who, offering sacrifice of wakened hearts, have sense of one pervading Spirit's stress, one force in every place, though manifold. I am the sacrifice, I am the prayer, I am the funeral cake set for the dead, I am the healing herb, I am the ghee, the mantra and the flame, and that which burns. I am of all this boundless universe the father, mother, and sister, and guard, the end of learning, that which purifies in lustral water. I am Om. I am Rigveda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, the way, the fosterer, the Lord, the judge, the witness, the abode, the refuge house, the friend, the fountain and the sea of life which sends and swallows up, treasure of worlds and treasure chamber, seed and seed sower whence endless harvests spring. Sun's heat is mine, heaven's rain is mine to grant or to withhold. Death am I, and immortal life I am. Arjuna, Sat and Asat, visible life and life invisible. Yea, those who learn the threefold Veds, who drink the Soma wine, purge sins, pay sacrifice, from me they earn passage to Swarga, where the meats divine of great gods feed them in high Indira's heaven. Yet they, when that prodigious joy is o'er, paradise spent, and wage for merits given, come to the world of death, and change once more. They had their recompense, they stored their treasure, following the threefold scripture and its writ. Who seeketh such gaineth the fleeting pleasure of joy which comes and goes. I grant them it. But to those blessed ones who worship me, turning not otherwise, with minds set fast, I bring assurance of full bliss beyond. Nay, and of hearts which follow other gods in simple faith, their prayers arise to me, O Kunti's son, though they prayed wrongfully. For I am the receiver and the Lord of every sacrifice, which these know not rightfully, so they fall to earth again. Who follow gods go to their gods. Who vow their soul to Pitras go to Pitras. Minds to evil Bhutas given o'er sing to the Bhutas. And whoso loveth me cometh to me. Whoso shall offer me in faith and love a leaf, a flower, a fruit, water poured forth, that offering I accept, lovingly made with pious will. Whatever thou diest, Prince, eating or sacrificing, giving gifts, praying or fasting, let it all be done for me as mine. So shalt thou free thyself from karma bandh, the chain which holdeth men to good and evil issue. So shalt come safe unto me, when thou art quit of flesh by faith and abdication joined to me. I am alike for all. I know not hate, I know not favour. What is made is mine. But them that worship me with love, I love. They are in me, and I in them. Nay, Prince, If one of evil life turn in his thought straightly to me, count him amidst the good. He hath the high way chosen. He shall grow righteous ere long. He shall attain that peace which changes not. Thou Prince of India, be certain none can perish trusting me. O Pritha's son, whoso will turn to me, though they be born from the very womb of sin, woman or man, sprung of the Vaishya caste, or lowly disregarded Sudra, all plant foot upon the highest path. How then the holy Brahmins and my royal saints? Ye who into this ill world are come, fleeting and false, set your faith fast on me. Fix heart and thought on me. Adore me. Bring offerings to me. Make me prostrations. Make me your supremest joy, and undivided unto my rest your spirits shall be guided. Here ends Chapter 9 of the Bhagavad Gîtâ, entitled Rajavidya Rajaguhaya Yoga, or the Book of Religion by the Kingly Knowledge and the Kingly Mystery. End of Chapter 9. Recording by Jyoti Tharavanat. Chapter 10 of the Song Celestial, or Bhagavad Gîtâ, translated by Sir Edwin Arnold. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Jyoti Tharavanat. Chapter 10. Krishna said, Hear farther yet, thou long-armed Lord. These latest words I say, uttered to bring thee bliss and peace, who lovest me alway. Not the great company of gods nor kingly rishis know my nature, who have made the gods and rishis long ago. He only knoweth, only he is free of sin and wise, who seeth me, Lord of the worlds, with fate-enlightened eyes. Unborn, undying, unbegun. Whatever natures be to mortal men disturbed, those natures spring from me. Intellect, skill, enlightenment, endurance, self-control, truthfulness, equability, and grief or joy of soul, and birth and death, and fearfulness, and fearlessness, and shame, and honor, and sweet harmlessness, and peace which is the same. Whatever befalls, and mirth, and tears, and piety, and thrift, and wish to give, and will to help, all cometh of my gift. The 7 chief saints, the elders 4, the lordly Manus set, sharing my work to rule the worlds, these two did I beget, and Rishis, Pitris, Manus, all by one thought of my mind. Thence did arise to fill this world the races of mankind. Wherefrom, who comprehends my reign of mystic majesty, that truth of truths is thenceforth linked in faultless faith to me. Yea, knowing me the source of all, by me all creatures wrought, the wise in spirit cleave to me, into my being brought, hearts fixed on me, breaths breathed to me, praising me, each to each. So have they happiness and peace, with pious thought and speech, and unto these, thus serving well, thus loving ceaselessly, I give a mind of perfect mood, whereby they draw to me, and all for love of them within their darkened souls I dwell, and with bright rays of wisdom's lamp their ignorance dispel. Arjuna said, Yes, thou art Parabrahm, the high abode, the great purification. Thou art God eternal, all creating, holy, first, without beginning, Lord of lords and gods, declared by all saints, by Narada, Vyasa Asita, and Devalas, and hear thyself declaring unto me, What thou hast said now know I to be truth, O Keshava, that neither gods nor men nor demons comprehend thy mystery made manifest, divinest. Thou thyself alone dost know, Maker supreme, Master of all the living, Lord of gods, King of the universe. To thee alone belongs to tell the heavenly excellence of those perfections wherewith thou dost fill these worlds of thine. Pervading, immanent, how shall I learn supremest mystery? To know thee, though I muse continually, under what form of thine unnumbered forms mayest thou be grasped? Yet again recount, clear and complete, thy great appearances, the secrets of thy majesty and might, thou high delight of men. Never enough can mine ears drink the Amrit of such words. Krishna said, Hanta, so be it, Guru Prince. I will to thee unfold some portions of my majesty, whose powers are manifold. I am the Spirit, seated deep in every creature's heart. From me they come, by me they live, at my word they depart. Vishnu of the Adityas I am, those lords of light, Marichi of the Maruts, the kings of storm and blight. By day I gleam, the golden sun of burning cloudless noon. By night, amid the asterisms I glide, the dappled moon. Of Vedas I am Samaved, of gods in Indira's heaven, Vasava. Of the faculties to living beings given, the mind which apprehends and thinks. Of Rudras, Shankara, of Yakshas and of Rakshasas, Vitesh and Pavaka of Vasus, and of mountain peaks, Meru, Virahaspati, know me mid planetary powers, mid warriors heavenly Skanda. Of all the water floods the sea which drinketh each, and Birigu of the holy saints, and Om of sacred speech. Of prayers, the prayer you whisper of hills Himala's snow, and Aswatha the fig tree, of all the trees that grow. Of the Devarishis, Narada, and Chitrath of them that sing in heaven, and Kapila of Munis, and the gem of flying steeds, Uchashvaras from Amrit wave which burst, of elephants, Airavata, of males the best and first, of weapons, heaven's hot thunderbolt, of cows white Kamaduk, from whose great milky udder teats all heart's desires are stroke. Vasuki of the serpent tribes, round Mandaras entwined, and thousand-fanged Ananta, on whose broad coils reclined leans Vishnu, and of water things Varuna, Aryam of Pitris, and of those that judge Yama, the judge I am. Of Daityas dread Prahalada, of what meters days and years, time's self I am. Woodland beasts, buffaloes, deers, and bears, the lordly painted tiger, of birds the vast Garud, the whirlwind mid the winds, mid chiefs Rama with blood imbrued, Makars mid fishes of the sea, and Ganges mid the streams. Yea, first and last, the centre of all which is or seems I am, Arjuna, wisdom supreme of what is wise, words on the uttering lips I am, and eyesight of the eyes, and A of written characters, Dvandva of knitted speech, and endless life and boundless love, whose power sustaineth each, and bitter death which seizes all, and joyous sudden birth which brings to light all beings that ought to be on earth. And of the viewless virtues, fame, fortune, song am I, and memory, and patience, and craft, and constancy. Of Vedic hymns the Birahastam, of meters Gayatri, of months the Margasrisha, Of all the seasons three, the flower-wreathed spring, in dicer's play the conquering double-eight, the splendour of the splendid, and the greatness of the great. Victory I am, and action, and the goodness of the good, and Vasudeva of Vrishni's race, and of this Pandu brood, thyself, yea, my Arjuna, thyself, for thou art mine. Of poets, Usana, of saints, Vyasa, sage divine, the policy of conquerors, the potency of kings, the great unbroken silence in learning's secret things, the lore of all the learned, the seed of all which springs, living or lifeless, still or stirred, whatever beings be, none of them is in all the worlds, but it exists by me. Nor tongue can tell, Arjuna, nor end of telling come of these my boundless glories, whereof I teach thee some. For wheresoever is wondrous work, and majesty, and might, from me hath all proceeded. Receive thou this aright? Yet how shouldest thou receive, O Prince, the vastness of this word? I, who am all, and made it all, abide its separate Lord. Here endeth Chapter 10 of the Bhagavad Gîtâ, entitled Vibhuti Yoga, or the Book of Religion by the Heavenly Perfections. End of Chapter 10. Recording by Jyoti Taravanattu.